All right. How's it going? I'm back. For anybody who even remembers, it's been a while. This is Blake. I'm the one with this thing. This is a supercharged Coyote swapped SN95. I made a few videos about it a year or two ago. I went over the overview of the paint. Like, you know, it's a Mako paint job, so people want to hear about it. It's a Cervini Stalker kit, which isn't common. And then it's obviously a supercharged Coyote behind it. And I'm making this video as an update because in my previous videos I kind of just talked a lot and showed it off. But the reason I made this channel was I want to be able to show people how to do what I do. And you know, doing what I do isn't an impressive thing, it's just figuring it out, but I want to help them get through these processes. Because, you know, back when I was building this, I'm a very visual learner. Foxcast, I believe it's Foxcast, the shop channel. You know, it was helpful to watch them. It was helpful to watch some LMR videos. It was helpful to watch some random dude, you know, see how to hook up his 4.6 to an engine hoist. But, you know, people never quite covered this exact scenario, and it's becoming more common. So basically, I just want to jump on it. I want to help people. People see my old videos. Some of them reach out. Some of them actually did the Coyote swaps, and they had questions. I answered them, and then we figured other problems out together. Because I'm not invulnerable to issues. I actually had the cooling fan had a major grounding issue for a while, and it almost ruined my entire body harness that I got from Ford. But, you know, me and this other dude who contacted me on Instagram, we had the same issue, and we both eventually figured it out together, which was very nice. His name was Zach, so Zach, if you're watching. But I don't know, because I haven't talked to the guy in a while, and it's been a while since I've uploaded to here. Let's get more to the point. I am going to take this motor and transmission out, and I'm going to record it and show you guys the things I wish I was shown. If you guys can put comments on this video, tell me what you guys want to see regarding how it comes out, because I take them out from the top. I just jack the car up and I lift the motor up and out. I don't lift the chassis over it. I can't do that. I don't know how people with without like lifts do that, but apparently they do. But the point is, I'm about to do that. So I want to show people what they want to see, and I want to show people what I wish I saw. And so now that everybody knows, like, that's what I'm going to do through the week, we'll go into some background. So anybody who remembers the old videos for some reason, you might notice that the engine is painted now. It wasn't painted with those last videos because last year, I took this apart again. And I couldn't record it because, you know, I'm a full-time college student. I'm now in university, so being a full-time student sucks even more. I work damn near a full-time job. It's 30 hours a week, and I don't work close to where I live anymore, so it's generally like I spend 35 hours with work-related stuff a week, and then I'm in full-time university. It just kind of sucks. And it's hard for me to do this, let alone record it and make sure the videos are of quality and, you know, reshoot things. I've reshot this like 7 times because I'm not happy with it. You know, and whether or not I put a lot of editing into it, I want what I say to be relatively concise, and I don't want to ramble too much. I know I ramble, but I don't want a 15-minute video to be 25 minutes, you know what I mean? So I couldn't do that last year, and I had just moved in with my girlfriend, so that was like a transition that I was getting used to. I need to give time to her, I need to give time to school, I need to give time to work, I need to give time to this thing, because I have way too much money in here to just give up on it now. But, you know, okay, so the point is, it's just, I didn't have the time, and now I finally do. I'm a little more comfortable. I have about a week to get this out, so I'm going to get it out, and I'm going to try to record it for you guys. And some background on what happened was I did the thing last year. I took it all out. So when you take the Coyote out or into an SN95, considering you're probably using long tube headers meant for the swap, you need to take the engine and the transmission out as a couple, right? So I did that, and it's because the bell housing wraps around, I apologize. The headers wrap around the bell housing, so you can't get all the bell housing bolts off, and even if you could, they wrap around the bell housing, so you can't separate the bell housing too much. It'll just hit the headers. So it's a pain. But you have to take the transmission and the engine out at the same time, and the headers. And I did that last year because I wanted to build the motor. I wanted to just kind of push the Gen 1 block to the limits just while I had it. I wanted to put forged internals in there, do a few small goodies like oil pump gears, which I did end up doing. But I wanted to do that. I just wanted to push it like that sweet spot, 800 horsepower mark, and be laughing and hope I don't crack any, coolant valleys or anything like that. And then what ended up happening was I took it all apart and I noticed my T45 wouldn't shift into gear anymore. So that was a bit of an issue, and I decided it was done. It was time for a change. I already have 600 horsepower, I have 600 plus horsepower going to the wheels. The poor T45 was out. That thing, it had been re-ringed when I first did the swap because the T45 was behind the stock 4.6 for a while, which is, it's nothing. It's a 4.6. And I had it re-ringed. I had it put back in the car. I put it back in with the Coyote. And, it held up to an NA Coyote. It wasn't always the nicest, but it held up for 2 seasons. And then I supercharged it, and that T45 held up for another season and a half. And, when I was going to start the work on it, it was still shifting in the car. It wasn't a nice experience. If the car was having a bad day and it didn't want to shift, you were having a bad day, because it wouldn't want to shift sometimes. But it would. And, so, I got a few good runs in with it, actually, where it smoothly did all gears. But that was becoming exceptionally rare to have, like, a smooth shift into every gear. And then it came out and it stopped shifting altogether. So I threw it, I sold it, and I went for a Tremec TKX. For people who don't know what the Tremec TKX is, I'm sure you guys know what the Tremec T56 Magnum is. It's just a baby brother, whatever you want to call it. It's essentially the 5-speed version of the base model T56. So the T56 has variations, it's the T56, the T56 Magnum, the T56 Magnum XL. They're all rated for different things. They have slightly different things about them, but they're all T56. And they're 6 speeds. This is a 5-speed, and it's rated. It's rated for the same 600 torque that the T56 base is. Like not the XL or not the Magnum. It's rated for 600 wheel torque, and it's a 5-speed. So it's more affordable. It's only like $2,800 brand new. It fits my space constraints a little better. It bolts to the stock T45 location. It's lighter, which is, it's not something I need on this car with all the tubular stuff and the fact that it came as a base GT. It's already a 3,000 pound car, so I don't need the lightness, but I like adding it. And so it's I did all that. I did all the supporting mods. I did a Ford Performance bell housing. I did a McLeod twin disc RST or RSX clutch, something like, it's an 800 horsepower clutch. New clutch cable, new clutch quadrant. Yeah, you'd call it quadrant, because the stock one on these cars is adjustable and it's also plastic, so it can't handle higher rated clutches. I got my drive shaft rebalanced, new U-joints painted. I wanted the aluminum one, who doesn't? But money at the time, right? It's always money. And I did that. It has proper oil in it. And it when I went to driving, since the second it went out of the storage unit and onto the road, it grinded. The brand new transmission, it's $2,800 by itself, but all the supporting stuff, you get around to the $5,000 mark very quickly. With the bell housing and the clutch and everything else like that. So it was disappointing. I decided to put it through the break-in period anyway, and it never got any better. The problem was, it at low RPM, call it like 1,500 and below, second and fourth had a really bad grind under load. So when you actually applied torque, it would make this terrible grinding noise. And if you kept it above 1,500, didn't make a noise. It was great, and that's exactly what I did for the whole break-in period. I kept it above 1,500. I talked to a sales rep. They were like, "Well, if you put it at the break-in period," I'm like, "Okay, fine, I will." I kept it out of the range where it grinds, and every time later it still does it. I gave it a little more on longer drives. I started to notice that it just made noise, like it made whine and stuff at like long trips in fifth gear, or it started making funkier noises up top. So it was a whole thing where I gave the transmission more than enough time, even though it doesn't need that. And when I had first installed it, I had, what do they call it, zeroed out the bell housing. I had made sure it was center lined. The bell housing was zeroed in to 0.005 inches clearance, which is essentially how straight the transmission input shaft is going to go into the crankshaft. Not the crankshaft, the pilot bearing, and that's on the crankshaft. So I basically did all the correct measurements. I made indexing the bell housing. That's what I'm talking about. I indexed the bell housing. It was within the 0.005 inches. I did, I made sure everything was torqued properly. I torqued it in star patterns anywhere I could to make sure it applied evenly. I torqued it in stages. And, the pinion angle is a little off because it's a lowered car, but that doesn't make noise like that. So I brought it to a shop. The shop agreed it was not an installation noise. It was a build quality noise. So I'm filling out a product return form right now. Not a return form, a warranty form. And they are going to have to fix it. If I have any word or say in it, they are going to fix it or, make this right. But that's where we're at right now. That's why I have to take it out. I wanted to do some more stuff to the motor, but I ended up wanting to do a Steeda 5-link in the rear instead. The 4 links on these cars, as much as drag racers like them, apparently, that's what my buddy Jake Lesnick says. He's a popular drag racer up here in the Midwest, in Northern. And apparently they're great for drag racing. They suck for everything else, though. They have too much bind. The 4 links aren't very well designed from Ford. So I'm going with a Steeda 5-link. I looked at a modular or a Maximum Motorsports torque arm setup. Just didn't appeal to me. I don't like the ground clearance issues. I don't like the questionable nature of removing both upper arms. So as race proven and well respected they are. I'm not saying anything's wrong with the design. I want the Steeda 5-link. They have a longer panhard bar with more adjustability. They have they retain the idea of 4 control arms, which I like. So I'm going with that, and it's a little easier on the bank. But so that's actually going towards, the money's going towards the rear end, not the motor. The motor still has some goodies from when I built it. When I added some stuff last season. Even though I did all the transmission, I still wanted to do some stuff. So it has Modular Motorsports springs, it has the chromoly retainers, it has their cam cap bolts from Modular Motorsports. And then the heads ended up needing a lot of work. So I guess something to look for on these Gen 1s and maybe even the Gen 2s, I think you call it valve lap. So in the back, near the back of the motor, the valves where they meet the seats had actually kind of like been lapped in, like they had been dented in. So they weren't making good contact with, or they weren't making a good seal with the head. So it became an issue of like, I need to fix that. And it's new, it's, polish up the valve seats on the head, new valves, get the heads, on a machine and deck them. Jeez, man, deck the heads and all that good biz. And then on top of that, I did all the springs and stuff. I did new lifters, 32 valve motor. You have it all apart. It's probably at the 150,000 mile mark now. So just, I wanted to do all new timing stuff, which involved the lifters and the Ford Performance timing kit with the new sprockets and everything like that. New chain, new guides, new dowels, new crankshaft sprocket, a billet crankshaft sprocket. I did the new oil pump gears. I didn't do the assembly. I did just the oil pump gears, and I put them in the F-150 housing. They're fine. You need a lot of people can say what they want about modular motorsports. I hear the bad stories about them. I hear the good stories about their parts. I don't care. They're very good about being specific about parts. You can get F-150 specific gears only because the housings have slightly different dimensions, like inside and out, basically. So I just, you get the F-150 billet gears. They go in fine. It's great. They ship me the right ones because obviously the motor hasn't blown up yet. And it's been good. It's been good. Oh, and there were some oil starvation issues. So not for me, I don't think. I really don't think so. But at some point, the cam journals had some issues, so they got polished up. They're kind of bad, but they're running and they're working. So who really cares? They got polished up and they're fine. So beyond all of that, I really couldn't do anything. I didn't take the bottom end apart. I didn't do anything crazy with the pistons or the crankshaft. And it's been running, I mean, it burns oil as it does. It's a stock 150,000 mile Coyote that takes boost. I'll let it burn a little oil. And yeah. Anyway, that's where we are with it. I have a grinding brand new transmission, and I really didn't want to do anything to it this I really didn't want to do anything to it this winter, but I now have to, and I have a new tripod to record it with, so I will show you guys how I do this and everything like that. As I said at the beginning of it, drop any questions or things you want to see as I take it apart. I will either try to show it or I will respond to you. And like I said, I'm not a guru. I don't know the ins and outs of every question, but if I've done it before or I have an idea, I will give you a response. That's where we're at with it. I will be posting videos throughout the week because this needs to come out soonish, and that'll be it. I'm not going to show anything super obvious, like how to put it on jack stands. Like, if you're at the point where you don't know how to put these cars on jack stands, don't start a motor swap right away. But at the very least, I'll show you guys like interesting things about how to get it out. I take it out from the top up, so I don't know how guys lift it over the motor. I don't know how they get away with that. I wish I knew. But I just jack the car up and then I lift it through the engine bay up. So I'll be showing that, and I will be getting onto it the next week or so, and from there we'll see what happens. So drop a comment about any questions, and if you're interested, just stay tuned because I'll be doing this throughout the next few weeks.